two, three. One more, one, two, three. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we have an open microphone. Please, who wants to share their experience as a woman in diplomacy, please raise your hand. We're going to approach you with a microphone.
First of all, thank you all for being here, and the biggest thank is for Mrs. Brown. I have a long history since you came 10 years ago. We've known each other, we've been friends. I have some pictures of the both of us in the first 2007, where I know I look better than you look the same, but it's a great picture with singing on the General Assembly stage, and I've cherished that pictures. Since then, of course, I had an organization for peace. My husband has served under 5 Secretary Generals at the UN. But I have invited Mrs. Bayan to come and speak at many of my events that we've done about women issues, being it for trafficking, violence against women, empowerment of women. We've invited several keynote speakers and the First Ladies. And you have graciously opened and spoken at several of our events at the United Nations. I can never forget that. You have added such a value to whatever it is that we have been doing. And just you being there, supporting the women, supporting us, more than I can ever say. The one that stick into my mind the most, we were in Korea, in Seoul, and there was a big conference, several conferences on education and women and leaders and so on. And then I was in this hotel, and going out of the front of the hotel to get my car that was picking me up. And I see this car. I see a car that has gone, and I didn't see who was in it. Then the same car comes back, reverse, and here comes Mrs. Ban, opened the door, comes down to say hello to me and to see if I needed anything. If that it doesn't touch you, I cry, because to this day, when I say it to anyone, I can never forget that, never. That sensitivity, that extra step that you have in you, the kindness that you show, it's genuine. It's not because of who you are. It will never go away, and this is what diplomacy is. It is that person-to-person connection. Thank you, and I am honored to be your friend, and will see you always. Thank you so much.
Now we continue with our second part. In the name of the Women International Forum, we would like to thank Mrs. Ban for being our patron, for supporting us, for accepting our invitations every month, for supporting so many other women and children initiatives. She was always up for it. I don't know which time, but she always made the time to support us. She believed in us, and she has been a role model for so many women and people around the world. Always with wisdom, really patient, and always with a smile. It's admirable, coming from one place to the other with changes of hours, and still she was always present, helping, and willing to do more. So thank you, Mrs. Ban, for that. Now I give the microphone to our panelists if they want to do remarks for Mrs. Ban. Please do.
I will only mention a couple of things in relation to an issue which is very dear and very important for the organization and the world, which is all the issues that relate to refugees and migrants. since this topic started to be at the center of the work that the organization is doing, and Secretary General himself made a very personal commitment to visit wherever he was traveling, families of displaced people, families of refugees and migrants. He has really done so. And in all his trips, all his travels, he has been meeting with families of refugees. The last one in Vienna, where Mrs. Van and Mr. Van, Secretary General Van, were together visiting a restaurant at the center of Vienna, which is a joint venture of Viennese and Syrian refugees. And they were able to share this fantastic initiative of integration. Since more than a year ago, you, Mrs. Van, have been meeting with families of people that have lost everything. Your attitude in support of these families that need so much has been tremendous. We have testimonies of your engagement with them, either in Calgary or in Madrid, or as I mentioned, Vienna, or in many places. I think it is a testimony of your engagement and the support you give to the key policies, the key challenges of the organization. Thank you.
I would like to refer to what, I don't even know how to say that. I guess in diplomacy, particularly in this world today, there's so many horrible things, there's so many tragedies, there's so many failures of the international community, including the UN, to do things. And sometimes you just, being in this job, you just want to really shout out and express your frustration, vent your frustration, push harder, thinking that this is, this makes a difference. And then I remember Mrs. Van and looking at her infinite patience and her incredible grace of dealing with issues, all of them, no matter what, the most difficult issues at hand. It's not always easy to maintain that poise and grace and patience and wisdom when you deal with the human tragedy day in, day out. And I think as diplomats, we have to remember that besides our posturing, besides our hardened positions, besides fighting the fight on the international stage, we have to have that infinite patience. And therefore, to me personally, you will always remain a symbol of that unattainable, at least to me personally, unattainable ideal of taking things as they go with wisdom and with patience, and at the same time working quietly and persistently to make sure that you do make a difference. Difference can be made in so many ways, and most often it's not through the loud words that we make a difference. It's through the perseverance and persistence and the kindness to each other, and that's what you've been to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Van, what I would like to add is something that I think everybody has said already, how special you are. Since the first time that I met you, I was very impressed by your kindness and your style of leadership. One of the topics that is very important from my point of view is leaders. And I really admire leaders like you who always are listening with a humble style of leadership that always is trying to talk to everybody and convene them and try to agree in something, not imposing their view. You are really an example for us, and I think you are a natural, what is called bridging leader. Our friendship, I feel, is going to transcend physical distance because we are as a diplomat family. We have strong ties. Thank you.
I thought I already said a few words about Mrs. Ban, but I'll again start with a quote which says that if you cannot do great things yourself, remember that you may do small things in a great way. And that is what Mrs. Ban has done all the time in her own dignified, quiet way. She has touched many lives and made an impact. I am particularly reminded of one incident when Mr. Ban and my husband, who was chef de cabinet at that time, visited Baghdad. The situation was very tense and Mr. Ban went there to offer advice to the leadership. And while he was talking, a bomb exploded very close to the building. They were taken away from the spot. I was happily playing bridge in the colony club, oblivious of but I think Mrs. Ban felt that if I saw the news on the front page the next day, I would be horrified. So in the evening she called me and she said, you know, something has happened in Baghdad, but our husbands are safe. So that's the way she reassured me. So these are little things that remain with oneself. And like this, many things that one can remember. And what can I say but thank you, Mrs. Ban, for being what you are and being there for all of us.
Thank you, Mrs. Ban, for being such a good friend, for being such a good inspiration, for having so much wisdom. Now, we would like to open the microphone again for people to express their gratitude or say some words to Mrs. Ban. Can you go to the microphone? Please say your name.
My name is Ugoja Dama Eze, the chair of the African Affairs Committee, the New York Bar Association. On behalf of the African Affairs Committee of the New York Bar Association, I'd like to wish you farewell, Ms. Van. A few weeks ago, your husband spoke at the Bar Association of Refugees. I, by chance, have a history, a story, a connection with refugees. When I listened this morning to your husband's story, it touched a chord in my heart. I was a Biafran refugee in 1966, and to me the most enduring sign was the sign of the Red Cross, and also the hope that we hope that the United Nations would, one, recognize us and also do something for us. There's a saying that behind every great man there's a woman. You are that woman, Mrs. Van. You are indeed that woman. I came here in 2009 as an intern for the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. I wondered why I went to refugees, but then somebody pointed out to me, Audrey, you were once a refugee yourself. But I was fortunate that we went to the United Kingdom, then I went on to become a barrister of law of the Honourable Society of Grazing. I'm saying that because your husband has brought to the forefront the plight of refugees and migrants. The General Assembly this year focused on refugees. As a refugee, I'd like to thank your husband for bringing our plight to the forefront of the world. As a refugee, we want dignity, we want education. I'm not a typical face of a refugee. There's a stereotype of a refugee that we're beggars, we live off welfare, but that's not the case. Your husband has given us a different face. To that, I thank you, and I wish you Godspeed.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Someone else? First.
Good afternoon. My name is Narendra Kakkar. I'm the permanent observer of the University for Peace to the United Nations. I would like to give an example of a specific project through which the university has benefited by the efforts of Madame Soon-taek. The University for Peace, as you may know, was established by the UN General Assembly as a result of an initiative by the former president of Costa Rica, late Rodrigo Carazo, and following the very generous offer by Costa Rica to host the institution in Costa Rica. The university is based over there. A few years ago, we approached the UN Delegation's Women's Club through its project on Women for Peace to seek support. Madame Soon-taek, amongst other institutions, is also the patron of the Women for Peace project. And through her efforts, we received considerable financial support for a number of years to provide scholarships to female students from different parts of the world, particularly developing countries in Africa, Asia, Latin America, Central Asia, and so on and so forth. And the aim was to develop women leaders, their capacity to go back to their countries and see what they can do in peace building and conflict prevention. So, Madame Soon-taek, we are very grateful to you. We are grateful to Madame Muna Rihani, who I don't know if she's there, but thank you very much for all your support. The university is grateful for that, and we would like to wish you and Mr. Ban, who is the honorary president of the university, the best of luck in your future endeavors and in your personal lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We have time for one more remark. Okay, lady in the back, I go to you.
I'd just like to say one brief word to Mrs. Ban. I'm Carla Stay with Global Research. And early on, while you were here, I mentioned to your husband and then to you a very great poet from South Korea named Kim Chi-ha. And I was very, very moved by the fact that you respected, admired, and appreciated him. And I think I had mentioned that a close friend of mine, the late professor of, Nobel laureate professor at Harvard, George Wald, had published a lot of his writings in this country when it was difficult to get them. And I had written a letter to you, but the bureaucracy is such and the protocol is such that I thought I'd never get it to you. And when I was cleaning my house, I found the letter. I thought, oh, well, I'll never be able to get it to you. So I might have thrown it out. If I found it, I would try and get it to you somehow, because it was written about how much I admired you for respecting this great poet in your country, especially knowing what he had gone through, and that it took great courage to appreciate him. So thank you very much for that. Thank you.
So to end this second part of the event, Malini will have a cultural presentation. Just give us a couple of minutes to use her instrument. It's a surprise for all of us.
You must be wondering what I am playing. This is an instrument called harmonium. Very much like piano accordion, but played only with one hand and the other presses the bellows. I'll start with a chant in Sanskrit, which is a very ancient language. What it basically says is, lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, and from death to immortality. Peace be on all of us. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. talks about life. Life is a strange story. We don't know where it starts, where it ends, where are our destinations. We don't know. Why is there smoke with flame? Am I dreaming or have I woken up from a dream? So it goes on like that. It's a kind of love song, but I think it's too pessimistic to be a love song. It's more about life. अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न वो समझ सके न हम। अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न वो समझ सके न हम। ये रोशनी के साथ क्यों धुआं उठा चराग से, ये रोशनी के साथ क्यों धुआं उठा चराग से, ये ख्वाब देखती हूँ मैं कि जब पड़ी हूँ ख्वाब से। अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न वो समझ सके न हम। मुबारकी तुम्हें कि तुम किसी के नूर हो गए, मुबारकी तुम्हें कि तुम किसी के नूर हो गए, किसी के इतने पास हो कि सबसे दूर हो गए। अजीब दास्तां है ये, कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म, ये मंजिलें हैं कौन सी, न वो समझ सके न हम। अजीब दास्तां है ये।
Beautiful, Madhuri. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And also thank you to all the ladies that have helped us today in this panel, sharing their experience. Mrs. Ban, thank you again. Christina, thank you so much. Ambassador, thank you so much. Sonia and Malini, and thank you to all of you that have come this day to tribute Mrs. Ban, someone that has been amazing. Now I would like to ask the board to please bring the flowers to say thank you for their help.
Sorry.
Here so that we do a picture.
Picture,
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Get a picture. Flowers.
Yeah, 1, 2, smile. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, here. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, here, please.
Come, we can do it together.
Okay, one. Can we have a photograph together? Here, please. One. Together. One. Here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. One.
And you are amazing.
Can we have a
Now
group?
we also want to say
Can we have a group photograph, please? With all
before the group photo,
ladies with flowers, please.
before the group photo, we would also like to thank you, or from the bottom of our heart, to say thank you to Mary Sachs, that she has been amazing, always trying to help Mrs. Ban, always feeding our events. Thank you so much, Mary. A big applause for her. Thank you. Now, the board members, please come to the front to do the official picture, please. To the permanent mission of the Egypt for hosting us, and now the buffets and the snacks are open. Thank you so much for coming today. Now it's time to celebrate. Thank you.
Recording is going, right? REC? You can see the REC there? I'm going to go next to her in 2 seconds once they move. Sorry. No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. For support. Oh, okay. And here's my card. We love to see you at this one and love you all for all the work you've done. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Excuse me, ma'am, can I have a photograph? Oh, you are the best. I will love you. I will love you. No, she's taking it actually. Oh, my camera. Sorry about that. Can I steal? This is Sharma. You got it? Thank you. I'm sorry. George, you did go.
Yeah. Anna, I'll give her my phone. That's on your phone. You send it to us. Okay. No, we have a picture. I'm Vanessa. I'll give your phone to someone. Yes. Maybe. Healing. Sorry. Should I give it to Anna? Anna.
Which one? Sorry. I'm from Mali, so I need one. Susan, you didn't know. No, I wanted you to know. Yeah, I'm going to miss you so much. I'm going to stick with you. When you think Malini, such a beautiful woman. Thank you. Thanks.
Enter.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Picture with us.
it was good. It was good. What do you want? What do you want?
That Gloria can do pictures because they think that this is a hazard to you.
Every successful lady is a very good woman who is looking to them, and that's a great one.
Thank you.
Sad that night comment you were going, but it's so nice.
Thank you very much. Come on again.
Later. All right. Good. I know. Yes, I know. But I am medium. Sorry, I'm like
Good picture with you. Sorry, ma'am. Thank you. You got a good picture.
Thank you so much.